All right, my friends, welcome back to another episode. So it's been a few days now. I was waiting on some supplies, so I got the content ready, and we're gonna begin with armor. So I had a request from somebody, one of you guys, asking about armors. Looking at different ones, what to get, what not to get. So I figured we'd do a video, probably a couple of videos just on armor. So we're gonna start off with heavy armor, which is armor that requires strength. So for example, looking at the armors here, 100 strength, 100 strength, 100 strength. So most your in-game armors are going to require 100 strength. Now, before I get into the armors, let's explain why that matters. So if you're looking at your character, don't get excited, guys. My person's naked, but calm down. When you pick 100 strength, you're taking 100 stat points and you're allocating it to strength, when there are armors that you can get that will save you strength and let you allocate those points to, for example, let's say critical hit, reloading, survival, whatever you want to choose. But when you pick a strength armor, you're pretty much giving away stat points because you have to have strength to use that item. The benefit of strength armor is typically you have more defense and you have more absorption. So higher defense and higher damage absorption. So again, pros and cons, right? So we're going to start out with heavy armor, and I'm going to look at armors that I would consider end game or able to get you to end game. Okay. There are, a lot of armors to pick from, but I would say these are probably, end game, or ones that I would take to the Southeast Zone. And I'm going to talk about why I would do that and why I would not take other armors. So my list of armors that I'm going to go through are the Vengeance Guard, the Hazard Reactive, the Dawn Reactive, the Scarab Reactive, the Exterminator Reactive, the Dusk Reactive, and the Steel Case Reactive. So the way I chose these items were, one, they were all strength based, and two, they have enough armor that if I came down here to the Southeast Zone, I'm not going to have to repair over and over and over and over again. I'm also going to be able to survive down here. I can take a hit and keep on going. Whereas some of these other armors, if you get hit once, you're going to have to repair. And then you may even die, depending. So again, I think that this is kind of, for me, where I would start at. Now, some of these items are older. You can't get them anymore. So the price is way too high to validate a purchase, if that makes sense. So we'll go through what they are, what I think of them, and how they look, because some of these armors are extremely expensive, and if you're just wanting to get it for looks, I think it's very important that you see what it looks like. Okay, so, and actually we're going to need some cash. And I'm probably going to have to go, let me come out here and die, and we're going to go to the outpost. Okay, so just hang on one second, because I need to be in an actual outpost. All right, guys, so we're back at an outpost. We need to go to where we have the yard, and there's a reason for this. So let me fast travel. Go to Sekrenom. All right, so let's look at this here. So starting with the Vengeance Guard, okay? So the Vengeance Guard, I used this for years. I do think it's worth the money, and I do think it has a purpose. So for one, it has 1,000 armor, okay? So that's just right there is massive. So you have 1,000 armor and also 99 damage absorption. That's huge. Here's what it looks like. You also can master die for $1 million, or you can apprentice die, which is a random color. For example, there's white. You can pick, these are the colors that come with this armor. So I could go purple. I could go green, but these are all you can pick from. So not all armors have these options. So again, go with what you want. That's just going to be dependent on whatever you like for looks. This is what it looks like with a mask. But in general, you know, this is what you're going to look like with this armor. And again, this is the Vengeance Guard. So looking at the Vengeance Guard, where are you at? 1000 armor, 99 damage absorption, 50% extra damage reduction on breaking hit. So again, your last hit, you will take 50% extra damage reduction on that. So it may save you. And then obviously the 1000 armor is the selling point here. 1000 armor when you're, you know, grinding or out looting, whatever you may be doing, that's huge. Now, as far as price goes, it's going to, sorry about the flashbang, it's going to cost you about 450 million. You actually buy it from the credit shop. So if you go to credit shop, you go to armors down here, the Vengeance Guard is 5,000 credits. Credits are 90 million for 1,000. So that's where you come up with the money. So anyway, around that, it's going to be around that price, around 450 million for the Vengeance Guard. So is it worth it? You know, as an in-game item, I would say yes. It is literally the in-game item. So I would say for 450 million, yeah, that's a ton of money, guys. But at that point at the game, if you're looking for these items, you're going to be paying a lot of money. So that's just something to expect. The next one we're going to look at is the Hazard Reactive. All right, so this is what the Hazard Reactive looks like. Again, Master Die. Let's see what you can pick from. You can pick all of these. Cyan, white, gray. And again, this is so you guys can see what it'll look like, because this does matter. People are really picky with their Dead Frontier colors. And if you're spending this much money on armors, you need to know what you're getting. So that was the Hazard Reactive. And again, it has 650 armor, 95% damage absorption. Now, the difference, if you look at this, obviously the armor, but the Hazard Reactive gives you movement speed. So it's only 3%, and you would think that's not much, and it really isn't. But 3% can make or break you, depending on your build. So maybe you have a build where you just need a little bit more movement speed. You know, maybe this could pull it off for you. As far as price goes, you're looking at 178 million for this. So again, way less than the Vengeance Guard. But is that going to be the armor that sets your character up for what you want to do? Again, let's just make sure that's what it goes for. Hazard Reactive, 178 million. So that's what they cost, guys. If you're looking for one of those, that's what you're going to end up paying. And again, that's oops, I need to go back to the yard. Sorry. That's what it's going to look like. So it looks pretty good. That's the Vengeance Guard. That's the Hazard. I really don't like how the Vengeance Guard looks, just my opinion. But anyway, I like what the Vengeance Guard does. I like the 1000 armor. And the other thing is, you got to remember, guys, when you use repair kits, like for example, 50% of armor is repaired. If I have 1000 armor and I repair 50%, I'm going to get 500, right? Whereas if you have 650, the repair kit's not going to go as far. So you may have to bring more repair kits, more inventory space. There's a lot to think about. Next up, we have the Dawn Reactive. So again, this is what the Dawn Reactive looks like. It is 600 armor, 99 damage absorption. Now, let's talk about the Dawn armor real quick. So Dawn Reactive, 600 durability, 99% damage absorption, but 99% extra damage reduction on breaking hit. So when your armor breaks, you're going to have a 99% damage reduction on breaking hits. So even though it does break, you're probably still going to live. Now with the Dawn Reactive, you have these colors. You have white, which is on now, gray, black, brown, red, blue, green, yellow, cyan, orange. Orange looks kind of good. Pink, and purple. So those are the colors you get to pick from. Again, you can apprentice dye it and get a random color, but it's going to give you one of those. So the Dawn Reactive, the good thing about the Dawn Reactive is it is only 32 million. So, hey, that may sound great, right? Oh yeah, I want the Dawn Reactive. It's 600 armor, damage absorption's great, breaking hits great, the collars are good. What's the catch? Well, the catch is level, right? You have to be able to use Dawn gear. So unless you're level 400, that's not going to be something you're going to be able to do. So again, price wise, that's great. But if you're a new player, in-game player, and you're just not quite there yet, that's going to be a hard item to reach. So it may be out of reach just because level 400 is so far away. And also you cannot trade the Dawn Reactive. So once you spend the money, you're stuck with it. Same thing with the Vengeance Guard. So when you buy something like the Hazard Reactive, you can trade that. So again, that's something else to think about, guys, because as the game evolves, you may or may not need that armor anymore. So later on down the road, it may not be that good comparable to new armors. So you're going to want to resell that. Then we have the Scarab Reactive. All right. So this is an older item. I'm not sure what year it was released, but it was a little while ago. With dyeing, you have white, gray. Man, white just looks blocky. Gray. You have black, brown, red, blue, green, yellow, cyan, orange, pink, and purple. And again, if you guys want to see those collars, if there's one you're thinking about buying and you want to see the collar, just go back on the video and pause it. And that way you can actually see what that looks like. So that's the Scarab Reactive. It is tradable. And the Scarab Reactive is 750 million. So it is even more expensive than the Vengeance Guard. So that's something to keep in mind. But again, you can trade it, right? So if you buy it, you don't like it, you can resell it. It is a very expensive armor. But it's expensive because it's rare. Okay, so this is one of those items that you buy and really you're just, you're just showing off at that point, right? I mean, you just spent $750 million on armor. So something to think about. 95% damage absorption, 550 armor. So again, it will be able to work down here in the Southeast Zone. It doesn't have as much armor as the Vengeance Guard, the Hazard Reactive, or the Dawn Reactive. But it's definitely going to be able to hang in there. It does have some movement speed. So just like the Hazard Reactive, it has the movement speed, but it does take the strength. But it's a good armor. You're going to be able to come down here and survive. Next up, we have the Gray Exterminator Reactive. Now, this is one of my favorites. Looking at the collars, so there's white, there's gray, black, brown, red. I like the red. The red looks really sharp. Blue, green, yellow, cyan, orange, pink, and last but not least, the purple. So again, a lot of different colors to pick from. It says non-transferable, but the Exterminator Reactive is transferable, and it is actually 14.5 million. So a very cheap armor. You don't have to be any certain level to use this. And it has 550 durability. So you can come down here, 95% damage absorption, come down here and loot and feel pretty comfortable with that, guys. Compared to the Scarab Reactive, they're very close. You lose 3% movement speed, but you save yourself 740 million. So, I think it speaks for itself. I've used it on one of my alts. Very, very good armor. Very good investment. And then you have the X-Dusk Reactive. Now, again, what's the problem with this is you need to level to have the X-Dusk shop, right? So, again, you're going to have to be doing leveling. If you're not that high a level, you're going to have to wait. But the difference is you're going to save some cash. So 5 million if you buy it from the Dusk shop. But again, you have to unlock the Dusk shop, so it's not something everybody has access to. You can get it with time and with playing the game pretty easily, but it is still locked. And also, it's non-transferable. So the X-Dusk Reactive has 500 armor, 95% damage absorption. You can comfortably come down here and loot with it. You can honestly buy a second one for a backup armor. Take repair kits. I've ran with an X-Dusk multiple times. Very handy, very good armors, but again, you have to unlock them. That is the catch. But as far as colors go, you got white, gray, black, brown, red, blue, green, yellow, cyan, orange, pink, and purple. So a lot of colors to choose from. Very cheap armor. A lot of good things with that one. And then we have the last but not least, we have the steel case reactive. So again, this armor, steel case, is 199 million. Now a lot of you guys are saying, why would an armor with 375 armor be worth so much money? Well, again, it's an older item, guys. It's hard to find. A lot of people don't have them, and they're just expensive, right? It does give you the 3% movement speed. It has 375 armor, 95% damage absorption. I would not go any lower than this. I think going under 400 at the Southeast Zone is really asking for trouble. You can do it with 400, but you know what I mean? You get hit once or twice and you're looking to repair. And especially if you guys don't have any implants or things like that for damage mitigation, you know, I would honestly stay above 400 if I were you, unless you have implants and you have the weapons to be comfortable down here. So anyway, steel case reactive. This is what it looks like. White, gray, black. Let me put this down here. How do I make that go away? Let's go back. All right, white, gray, black, brown, red, and it looks like it's just dyeing the arms and the legs. Blue, green, which I kind of like actually. Yellow, cyan, orange, pink, and purple. So again, good armor, but really you're doing it just for the, you know, fashion of that. So again, that's the Vengeance Guard, the Hazard Reactive, the Dawn Reactive, Scarab Reactive, Exterminator Reactive, Dusk Reactive, and Steel Case. If it was me choosing, your best bet is honestly the X-Dusk Reactive. If you don't have the Dusk Shop, go ahead and snag a Exterminator Reactive just for value's sake, saving money. The Vengeance Guard is very nice, and so is the Dawn, but the Dawn I think is probably going to be next to last to choose from because of the level requirement for that. I really think the I really think the Vengeance Guard is worth the money, guys. It is expensive, but between it and the Parasitic Husk, there's a lot of different things you can do with it. One thing with the Vengeance Guard that people don't think about is with implants, you can load up. Oh, where are they at? Let me find them here for you. Let me show you something. Where are my... Hard to see. I'm looking for my X salvages, or my X salvages, right here. Okay, so see how that negative 15% incoming damage reduction? Well, I have, as you can tell, I have 3 of them. I can put this on and get negative 45% incoming damage reduction, which means I'm going to take more damage. But when you're running a heavy armor like the Vengeance Guard, I can afford to take, you know, almost twice as much damage as my other armors because I have so much of it. So even though, let's just say I take 50% more damage, I have the extra armor there. And X salvage implants are cheap, and it allows me to build my character for a looting setup way cheaper. So the Vengeance Guard does serve a couple different purposes, but that's something a lot of people don't take into account when they're building a character. Because I have done that. And then obviously I would probably stay away from the Steel Case. I would stay away from the Scarab, and then actually the Hazard Reactive, for being 178 mil, that's a pretty good buy, guys. It's a good armor. You know, that's one to look at, but Anyways, that's my thoughts, guys. Snag up the Extus, snag up the Exterminator. You know, really, really, really look at that Vengeance Guard. If you're going to play the game for a long time, I would say get it. But for heavy armors, that's what we're looking like. Now, someone asked me to go in the game and show them the damage and things like that. And I can do that. Maybe we'll do a video just on damage, like taking actually hits in the game for that. But I just wanted to get out a general video on strength armors for in-game and which ones to look at and why to look at them. And then, yeah, just give you my feedback on that. So if this is a video you like, please do me a favor, smack that thumbs up button for me, like the video, share the video, leave a comment in the description below. Let me know some other things that you guys want to see. I'll be doing another video with light armor or non-strength armor here very, very soon. I appreciate the feedback and the requests for the video. It really does help me. It's been a little slower the last week or two. I still have that daggone cold, guys. I'm like 2 weeks on this thing. So anyway, I apologize. I'll get some more videos out for you guys. Yeah, let me know your thoughts on this. Leave a comment and join our Discord. It's 100% free. Doesn't cost you guys a dime. Link in the description below. And until next time, you guys stay safe out there. Peace.